Blue chip tech leader dives. A couple interesting headlines here today on IBD. Let's go take a look at those. Actually, looks like I need to do something real quick. Yep. There we go. Oh, wow. PFPT tumbled on guidance. Hey, what's up, Rod? Good morning, Ted. How you guys doing? I'm just going through some IBD articles here this morning. Looks like some not so good things happening. It looks like we have BGG, which Briggs & Stratton, a small engine manufacturer, apparently is IBD is calling them an important consumer spending gauge. Dove quite significantly. You can see here it's down at 1065. So it dove pretty hard up here from 1350, down to 1065. It's a pretty steep drop. They also mentioned PFPT, which we saw yesterday was the same group as Fortinet. They had earnings that dropped. They came all the way back up, so maybe that's good. But they had disappointing guidance. Looks like earnings were okay, but their guidance was not good. But they say dived after, tumbled on some disappointing guidance is what they said here about this one. So that's this tumble they're referring to here. Looks like this morning we have kind of a bit of a rally back on lower volume. We'll see if it holds up or not, and that's going to kind of maybe tell you the future for Fortinet or not, because I'm not sure exactly how they compete with each other. Alaska and American Airlines lost. Big Oil was also mixed. Ford spiked after first quarter earnings blowout. Let's take a look at Ford, up to $10. Woohoo! Way up to there. Large foreign banks were under quarterly results. GDP surged with tame inflation. It's funny. I'm not even going to call it funny. I think it's very interesting. Someone posted a video yesterday on my Slack channel, trying to find it, that I think could be valuable to you guys. Go ahead and watch this. 50 Satoshi posted it. I'm going to post it here in chat. It's a video by Peter Schiff, and guy kind of speaking truth to both sides of the aisle, I think that's very loud, is pretty valuable here. So take a look at that. Now, all right, market. Mark, I was going to note gapping up here, not necessarily a great sign. Means it's susceptible to selling off. Looks like it's doing so a little bit here. We got GPK up, Docu up a little bit, Twilio up a little more, Fortinet. You can see aftermarket going through some gyrations in regards to that PFPT earnings. Opening this morning, about where we closed. Not too bad there. Netflix flat. Nvidia, not a good day. So using all-time highs to sell some things. Not quite. Looks like no news on that one. But Micron Technologies, after looking good yesterday, wow, pretty egregious sell-off in the later hours on elevated volume. And then now gapping lower. Not a fan of that action. In a rush to get into new lows. Usually not a good thing. I'll keep this on here for now, but that may come off with a quickness. We got Boot, Fortinet, down about 0.3%. O'Reilly yesterday with a big down day. And I'd say it came back a little bit too. Yeah, close towards the high of the session, but about halfway down if you view this as one larger candle. SE appears to be working today. This one may be trying to tighten up against its level here. I've got an alert here at 25.31. Okay, yeah, isn't quite isn't quite there yet. C-Trip, EDU, Winnebago, GPK leading us towards the top on my actionable list. On the global watch list, Grubhub up 10%. Must have been a good earnings report for Grubhub. Looks like it was pretty good. Grubhub didn't really undercut this low that much. That's really not that bad. 0.3 earnings and estimates were what? You're not going to tell us. What's up, TA? See if IBD has any information. Let's see. Revenue beat forecast for Grubhub. Wall Street expected 25 cents. They got 30 on slightly better revenue. And they didn't say that much. Okay. MDCO gapping up today. INS, kind of a failed leader. Damn, pick your damn weeds, neighbor. My neighbor's weeds across the street are about a foot tall. CGC bouncing out nicely. Look at this volume this morning. This is encouraging. Wow, what's going on with CGC? Do they have earnings? No. Sorry, apparently this is doing pretty good for CGC here. There's an interview with the co-CEOs there. It looks like it's pretty deep. And it looks like it's paying off this morning for CGC. This nice channel broke out the other day. Looks like today it's trying to break over those highs. And volume's exceptional today. So I can't say that it's hard to say it's going to rip or higher, but that's a nice little setup. And maybe it will. And it continues. Tesla. Oh yeah, 244. Yeah, this is not bueno. Not at all. Hasn't broken yet, but sometimes inching lower is worse than breaking because it means the break comes later. So, yeah, give it a little bit down here, but that's not good. Overall, generally, that's not such a good thing. Oh, there's a little setup. Kind of a little curve up and pause for a couple of days. CBM maybe for some continuation. Uh, 45 composite rating is not very good. Relative strength is 11. So it's got a lot of room to go. I'm not saying it's going to. I'm just saying it's got a lot of room to go. Wow, from 148 back in 2009 up to 69 today. That's amazing. It's a huge round trip. And it's hard for one day to make a stock. Looks like we had earnings here. Earnings coming up again. 5.2. 45 composite rating. EPS growth sucks. Sales growth sucks. Change in funds owning stock is negative 3%. Doesn't look very good. Come on, data. And NASDAQ already in the red. Yeah, see, we're probably going to end up going through another one of these. I mean, hopefully we just go through a little thing. That would be the ideal scenario here. GPK trying to get back in good graces. Docu not so much. It's kind of back up towards highs. And Netflix not so much either. Where are you, Netflix? There you are. So Netflix still choppy around, living towards the lows here. Not so happy about that one. How's Stars doing up here today? Not horrible. And based on CGC, let's check out what Cron's doing. So it hasn't gone lower for the past week or so. Hopefully that's good news. And we can reverse higher out of this. That would be holding up the 200-day moving average, which would be good. It doesn't necessarily kind of look like that, though. Workday getting close. Yeah, it's backing away right now. Yeah, still needs a little bit of time. But yeah, keep watching that. The problem is, though, the Nasdaq's going to pull back here a little bit from what it's looking like. We had the pullback yesterday. We noted volume was heavy, and it was indeed heavy. So distribution day definitely there for the indexes. And I'm not sure if today's going to be distribution day, but we did note it started out higher, which is not very good. So it could easily come back down here. But yeah, looks like we had those earnings reports from a couple days ago here. Let's go through and see if we can find some of those and see if any have held up or if they've all sold off. Okay, there's CGC, which has been noted, trying to break out of that pattern. Still going strong here. I'd say that's some good bullish, unexpected sentiment from CGC out of a interview. So far, so good. They're taking positions right there. I'm trying to remember some earnings off the top of my head as I scroll through these. I can't think of any right now, though. Was it Facebook? Didn't Facebook have... Facebook had earnings that day. That was yesterday. That was yesterday, and they used some of that opportunity to sell off, it looks like. I'm trying to remember another name. We had Facebook. CME Group trying to get with it through that trend line right there. Oh, that's some decent little follow through action. I wish volume was heavier. Looks like earnings on 5/1, which is next Wednesday. It said before market, I believe. Yeah, 4/1 before market. But it looks like it's not really waiting. Looks like it's doing some good things there, CME Group. Eli Lilly with a 1% gain after testing the 200-day moving average. That's unexpected. $4.30, so that's coming up pretty soon. EVR earnings on the 24th. Yeah, this would have to be earnings on the 23rd for it to show up on the 24th in most circumstances. Yeah, Fortinet giving up that 1.44%. That's probably gonna be based on that earnings of that that other competitor company, and they alone have their own earnings coming out. Decently low volume this morning. Hopefully this thing can stop and turn around. Market looks like it's, yes, they're still distributing on the way up, which is normal, but hopefully, kind of hoping they won't distribute as much. Still has room to the 10-day. It's respected the 10-day ever since it broke this. If it breaks this and goes under a little bit like this on a couple of weird days, scare us a little bit, and then this one rip roared into new highs. So that has been the recent trend there. Fortinet's bought up a little bit off of that spike low to meet yesterday's low. Hopefully that's the low of the day. I hate trading off of hope, though. Winnebago leading actionable list today on a little mini gap. Nice little consolidation is forming there. And then GPK after a little breakout the other day. This one did break out on the 23rd. This one's holding up pretty tight. Luckily, maybe it'll get some continuation in there. STZ continues. Excuse me. Trying to get right up here into that trend line. I will say this. I will say this, guys. I really like the setup called a high tide flag, and while this doesn't technically qualify as a high tide flag, it definitely looks like it, doesn't it? It definitely looks like a high tide flag. Up 13% really quickly here. Very tight consolidation at the top. This is the key right here. For for STZ right here, this is a key setup. I mean, that right there is beautiful. I'll take that trade 10 out of 10 times. And I can't say it'll work like this 10 out of 10 times, but it'll usually do something 10 out of 10 times. Usually it'll pop up. Even if it fails, it'll at least pop up. So if you guys see this setup like this, let me know around because it's a good one. They work well in crypto. They work well everywhere. Everywhere. If all you did was wait for high tide flags, you'd do pretty good. Seems like a lot of trading is just waiting for really good setups. Wonder if there's something to that. All right, Docu pulling back a little bit. Match.com still hanging out at high. Same with Twilio. Roku not so much. Netflix happy living in the slop, unfortunately. See if it'll find some support here. Mentioned yesterday it kind of had a head and shoulders pattern with a target down here in 363, so we still have a little bit of room to get to there. And Fortinet, so far it's bottom. We'll see if that holds though. We'll see if that holds, and that would be good. All right, let's go check out some movers, daily movers today. Ford on earnings right there, moving up pretty big. eHealth selling off a little bit. What do you want, Charlie? You puke on my carpet again? Freaking cat sitting there yesterday watching TV, and the cat's puking on my carpet. That's an interesting setup, GFI. I know nothing about this, but the setup is pretty interesting. Disney still has not stopped slowing, huh? Oh, wow, yeah. Look at that. Everybody wants that streaming money. Beautiful. And can't say for certain it's going to slow. I mean, it probably will at some point, but I mean, that's what you want to see out of a breakout. That's just super good. That's excellent. Disney on a pullback would be a great candidate for a buy. GFI right there looking pretty good. EQT, ST. Oh, Sony. UMC, what is that? They're gapping up like they were gapping down on the left over there on my daily chart. And CGC, which we know about, still hasn't stopped this morning. Up 4% now. Hexo, whatever this is, looks like it's breaking out. Nice cup and handle pattern. Look at the volume on the right side of the chart here on the weekly. That's pretty good. What is Hexo? Looks like it's a NASDAQ stock, so that's good. 58 composite rating. Looks like it's a Canadian company that offers cannabis peppermint oil. Another MJ company with big volumes and breaking out into new highs. This one could be actionable. And trying to break out. I mean, volume's great today. It's almost guaranteed that breakout volume the way it's going today. Look at that. That's just, unless volume just stops, which I don't necessarily see. Hexo. I'll take a small position in Hexo. This thing could be rocking right here with this kind of volume. Let's play. This will be a bit of a play trade. Yeah, let's do. Yeah, maybe I'll layer into it. Yeah, let's layer into it. Huh? Oh. This really will be a play trade. All right, I got a tiny trade in there. I'm really fully invested. This is going to shoot to the moon because I wasn't able to put any size on it. Like any size. Which is fine. All right, Hexo, CGC, IPG. I do like that Hexo. I'm going to add that to my actionable list. That's a... That's a pretty good setup on Hexo. If you guys are looking for a trade, I really don't mind this Hexo trade. Large cup and handle, and breaking down to all-time highs. Probably not known very well. I haven't heard about it at all. So people start to hear about this the next couple of days. Maybe this thing could rocket up. I mean, look at the depth of this base. If this thing does any kind of a measured move, you're looking at, you know, and I know in the crypto world, you guys, they take it from you'll take it from 3 to 7. That's $4. So if you go from 7 up $4, you're looking at like $11, which is pretty crazy. Not to say it's going to happen tomorrow, but if this breakout continues, it could do pretty good. Unfortunately, the market may be a headwind for it, so I would trade small on this one. I would definitely trade small on this one. I wanted to go larger than I went, but yeah. So composite ranking is 58. Industry group rank is 192 out of 197. So point out all the negatives right now. EPS change is only 50% for Hexo, so not very good. Of course, earnings suck. Sales change is 1,000%, though. That's really good. 3-year sales growth rate, 92%. Pre-tax margin, negative 600%. That's not very good. Market cap, $1.4 billion. Change in funds owning stock, 7%. 6 quarters of increasing fund ownership. So definitely some good things. You know, all the supply and demand accumulation distribution is really good. Obviously, look at that frickin' volume. So, see how it plays out, but that's an interesting one. GPK up 2%. Bucking market trend a little bit here. That's healthy. Docu looks like it got pulled into the red. So did Netflix, or green, excuse me. Netflix got pulled into the green a little bit too. Fortinet's still down there. And Nvidia getting taken to the woodshed today, down almost 6%. Eek. Micron's still down here too. Hasn't gone any lower though, fortunately. Skyworks pulling in. Fortinet boot. Wouldn't be touching O'Reilly quite yet. AMRN broke above a trend line yesterday. So far hasn't started moving at all. 2 pretty good volume days though. The previous 2 days, earnings are coming up 5-1 before market, so that's Tuesday. Tuesday's your last day to trade. Wednesday would be when you get the Tuesday morning. Trade desk still tightening, still nice up here. This one also has earnings coming out 5-9. This thing's just been on fire. Look at that thing, 22 back in 2016. 3 years, basically 10 bagging it. That's crazy. I need to do some more damn fundamental research or something. So back when I was doing audio video, in my former life, I don't know if some of you guys knew this or not, back in my former life, I installed high-end home automation systems in the likes of the biggest homes in the valley. Like the homes you see on TV, those are the homes I worked in every single day for years. It was great. Got exposed to a lot of cool things. A couple of the guys worked with for investors. One guy was worth like $1.5 billion. Just bought a bunch of Berkshire Hathaway. Got really very lucky, I think. Super nice guy. It's like the 3rd largest home in the valley, his house. Another guy was a hedge fund, was a money manager. I don't know if he was a hedge fund guy, but he was really old. And in one of his hallways next to his gym, which was next to his office, which was near his elevator, which was near his room with 3 equipment racks in it, which was pretty close to his movie theater. He had a picture of a news article, and it was him standing there in front of a wall, which had like a placard. So it was a picture of him standing with his arms crossed in a suit, and behind him, and he was standing in front of a wall that was kind of at an angle, so it was hard to see exactly what was on the wall. But what was on the wall was about 20 different picture frames, at least 16. I don't remember if it was a 4x4 grid, a 5x5 grid, or or bigger than that. And I think it was even an older picture. But this gentleman was standing in front of a picture, and I asked somebody what those were, and they said, "Oh, those are stocks that he like did a bag in or something like that." I'm like, "Did a bag? What are you talking about?" He's like, "I don't know. It's like a bag or something." I'm like, "You mean a 10 bagger?" He goes, "Yeah, I think that was it." I'm like, he 10 bagged all of those stocks, and so this dude, if that guy was right, because again I couldn't see what was on the wall. This dude 10 bagged like at least 16 to 20 stocks in his career, which I'm just flabbergasted that you can swing trade a 10 bagger like that. And that's what the purpose behind that story is. Was it Twilio? That wasn't Twilio. Whatever the hell one we were just looking at was a 10 bagger. And that's exactly what that reminds me of. Every time I see a 10 bagger, I'm reminded of, oh yeah, Trade Desk, here it is. Reminded of, oh yeah, people do this. How does he do this? That's a great effing question. That's a great question. I've often wanted to go to his office and just walk up and go, hey, I need to be a student of yours. Because to 10 bag 16 stocks, and this guy was in his 70s, maybe even 80s, I don't know. But arguably one of the better investors of all time. And I was in that guy's house. I've only met him like once or twice because I was there during the day he was working. But crazy. I gotta try to remember their name. Yeah, I looked up his office once. Doesn't even have a website. The dude's just money and old school. All right, Match.com, Twilio looks like they're in the green. Looks like not too many in the red. About two-thirds in the green. Fortinet looks like it's coming back. Luckily that low held. GPK, Hexo looks like it's pulling back a little bit. Just tremendous volume though. That volume, I mean, that's amazing volume right there. GPK 2.2%. Not quite into recent highs, but we'll see if it'll get there. Unfortunately, the market's not cooperating or helping. If the market were helping, this may be up. We'd have a lot of these up a little bit more. Tesla, I would probably give this, I would probably say this is almost a sell right now. Revisiting lows like this thing could just crater lower. The thing is, the bulls don't want to sell it, and the bears may push it. I don't know if they're pushing it here. It's hard to say, but it's pretty damn close. I would almost just sell it arbitrarily right here. I don't like undercutting that low, and the way it's undercutting, it's not rocketing lower. But this consolidation, this is not people buying Tesla. This isn't people buying Tesla, and that's unfortunately what you need. Is you need someone buying Tesla. It's just not here quite yet. If you want to give it a little bit, that's fine, but you're gonna have to pick a point when you're out or some kind of signal or something. But that earnings report sucked, and he's just burning cash like a damn teenager, unfortunately. So the Bears may get a win here. But yeah, I don't like this at all. Don't know if I'll tell my wife to sell it. She's kind of hodling position, if you will. But if this thing drops too far, it's hard to say Tesla will be able to bounce back. Now, it is a very volatile stock. If I don't quite understand the shorts perspective. I mean, what I mean by that is that I don't understand why short sellers even do what the hell they do, to be honest with you. Like, why would you short float $10 billion worth of anything because your risk reward is not very great on it? Like, you're going to make 36%? over, what, 3 years? That's not a great return. With all kinds of volatility and holding costs and overhead, that's not very good. Anyway, regardless of that, we're just slowly making new lows, and that is not good. That means they're trying not to tank it. But this is where it could start to tank. Undercutting a little low at lows. It's in lows right now, so I would ditch this. I would just ditch it. This is just calm selling. This is not accumulation right here. I would get rid of this. The way this is moving on the 5-minute. I know volume's not huge, but I've seen these get huge and just have really shitty days. If the market doesn't come back, this could be down 10% today. It's down to 2.6 right now. So, I mean, all it does is take one buyer to come and buy it back up, but they're not here right now. So I don't see why they would step in front of this. This could be a freight train. This could be a freight train. So, like I said, if you want to give it a little bit of room, that's okay. I'm not mad at that. Just understand the situation you're in. If it drops more, I can buy 2. Hopefully not. That means it's down to 120 bucks. Yeah, we've looked at NVIDIA a few times today. Yeah, Justin, we have. It's not doing very good. It's gapping lower. I don't know why, and I actually have no idea why. There weren't any earnings that I saw that came through. There's some general stuff, but I didn't see anything. I mean, I didn't see anything. Doesn't mean it's not there. I just didn't see it. Usually when something's down 6% like that, you'll see a flurry of news events, and that's what I did not get. I didn't quite see that. Although it is coming down to the 50-day moving average right here, so it could have some support. It has had some support in the past. I'd like to see how this closes throughout the day today. It did pretty much bounce right off of that 50-day moving average right there. So, and that's probably the buying that's happening right here is those 50-day buyers. Guys support these on the 50-day. So it does look bad, but maybe it's not the end of the world. Maybe. Maybe it's not the end of the world, but you have to decide for yourself if you're going to jump in front of that. I don't like catching falling knives. Personally, I'd rather buy on the upswing or wait for this to consolidate or show me some kind of intraday pattern. So far in the 5-minute, we just have one bottoming candle. This is very fresh and very new. And it looks like this candle is going to close in about 5 seconds. And the volume isn't very big, so not a great signal for a bottom. There we go, it just closed. So not a great signal for a bottom being lower volume. But this could be a good 1-2 punch. This is a higher volume candle on this little break lower. We could have a good amount of buying there. So if you want to buy, you have a pretty well-defined risk point here of about 1.5%. If you want to do that. Not really something I would jump in front of. Looks like the market being bought back up here. It was just sitting right down there at the lows. It just got bought back up. Similar to NVIDIA, actually. This looks very much like the NVIDIA chart we just looked at. Little consolidation, spike into lows. This one had, see, this is the elevated volume I was referring to that I like. So this is better than NVIDIA because, see, this has elevated volume compared to these candles. Sloping into it, if you look at NVIDIA, you have that elevated volume on the spike down. And this candle does not have more elevated volume than this candle, so this is of less value. But the market looks like it may have bottomed for the day. That would be nice. That'd be very nice. So we'll see if that happens. All right, looks like Hexo 3.77 consolidating up here towards the highs, which isn't bad. EDU looks like it's back to life. GPK doing good. Roku. Ooh, nice morning again this morning. Looks like it's jumping right now. We noted yesterday that Roku was doing pretty good. It's holding a little gap up, little gappy thingy right here. I wouldn't mind Roku off of this. I got 63.33. They do have earnings coming up on 5/8, so about a week and a half or so. Keep that in mind. AEYE. CRISPR still looking strong past couple of days. It's done some good work, and this also has earnings coming up 5/7, so a couple weeks for that one, but maybe look for that one to cross a trend line. Volume's okay. Yesterday's volume was better than we've seen in a while in terms of buying. Not a pocket pivot due to that particular candle, but a good solid day. And Fox not giving up those highs yet. Winnebago, INSG, take two. Match sitting right at highs. Match is really strong here. SE backing off. That was aftermarket spike up, yeah. But SE holding up pretty good. Netflix looks like it trying to come out of these lows finally. Didn't quite get to 363 yet. We'll see if it does. Hopefully it can stop. That'd be a nice place for it to stop. Workday still flirting with those highs. So yeah, Workday's not looking too bad. Volume declining generally. Does have earnings coming up. Looks like it's a couple weeks out though. 5:30. So you got about a month. So that's good. If Workday were to break out, clear skies ahead for Workday. So if that's on your list, you've got $200.10 as your buy point there for Workday. Doc, you doing good? Ameren, mentioned Ameren playing with that trend line. We'll see if that's a change in behavior. And again, earnings coming up 5/1. We are in earnings season. PCTY. There's Trade Desk. Trade Desk looking good. Stars. Looks like finally pulling in Constellation Brands. Maybe this thing's double topped here. And maybe we're finally going to see a pullback in this one potentially. See if it'll just be a one and done or how this is going to work out. Man, it's undercutting a little bit. That's kind of our trend line right now for this thing. So if that breaks, which it looks like it's testing it right now, and probably even breaking it right now. Not quite yet. Another little candle. I like what the Nasdaq's doing though. Came down to the 10-day so far, bouncing off of it. Hopefully we can hold above there. Hexo gotten a new highs, 4.6% now. So it looks like we're turning around a little bit here, which is good. Fortinet though, unfortunately, not participating that much. These breakouts aren't really running. They're just not. I'm not ultra mad at Fortinet, but not happy either. Luckily I had my early entry down here, otherwise I'd be SOL up here. If I'd have entered, I guarantee you I'd be negative. Even though I'd be positive on the stock price and the option price, I would be negative. Looks like Netflix bouncing. Okay, we're holding up here, which is good. Get past 371, we'll get another little leg. And maybe, just maybe, I mentioned maybe. Did I say maybe? I think I said maybe. Maybe we'll get out of this. on an earnings beat there. All right, guys, I got to get out of here. I got to take care of the kids this morning. Markets kind of floundering about. We had a huge day the other day. Unfortunately, yesterday's selling eclipsed that buying. But we are into highs for the NASDAQ, so you can't get too mad at that. So here's the highs, 77. Let's call it, what is this? What is this point here? What's our high? 772875. So 7728.75. So there's our all-time high for the NASDAQ. I don't know if we can stay above this line, but if we can, that would be great. I'm just going to say that. That would be great. So I'm just going to put this here as a reminder that we kind of are in highs, but the market is still a little iffy. The footing's a little iffy in some circumstances. So, especially because these breakouts aren't working like freaking Fortinet, for example. But all right, guys, I'm going to get out of here. Have a good day. I think today's Friday, so I won't see you tomorrow. I'll probably see you Monday. All right, guys, see you Monday. Bye.